Welcome to Modern Farm Business Podcast. This podcast is designed to help the farm leader bring their business to the next level. We'll cover everything from leadership and finance to strategy and planning. I'm your host, Dean Hefta. One of the most frustrating pieces of farming for many farmers is the responsibility of grain marketing. Every business has challenges. Whether you make straw hats, run a dry cleaner, or sell life insurance, there's something that you feel makes your business tougher than others. Farming is no exception. In fact, there are some pieces that do make it unique compared to most businesses. Today, we're going to hit on some of the elements that make the job of marketing special in farming compared to other businesses. Then we're going to dig into 7 contrarian mindsets for your marketing approach. So what makes marketing different? First, let's look at what's similar. If we go down to the basics of business, you have 3 things that need to be done, regardless of the business: to make it, to sell it, and to count it. To make it is central to any business. If you make straw hats, then you have to make straw hats. If you run a dry cleaner, you're moving into the service world, but you're making something with your labor and machinery: clean clothes. Obviously, as a farmer, we're making grains, produce, or livestock with the help of land, water, sunshine, and all the other inputs. It's that second one where things start to get a bit different for most farmers. The straw hat maker needs to create customers. Their approach to marketing is using media to build awareness of their brand. They're working to secure distributors. They're focusing on increasing the perceived value of their product. Farming, though, fits primarily into the commodity world. Commodity producers are price takers. The market views the product as equal, regardless of who produced it. The product is considered fungible. Simply said, I can swap my corn out for years, and the market will pay us the same. Since everyone who is in a commodity market is essentially replaceable by someone else's product, 2 principles come out. First, long-term winnings come to those most efficient producers. And second, the price fluctuations happen across time rather than across different segments of the market. Let's look at that first one. If you're in the copper mining business, if you produce urea fertilizer, if you manufacture aglets, the only thing that matters is to make sure you are not the least efficient group of firms in the same business. This is where I apply what I call the Kodiak rule. If you're in a group of 4 on Kodiak Island, you don't have to be able to outrun a Kodiak bear. You only need to be able to outrun the slowest person in the group. Bottom line, in the commodity business, efficiency matters because our products are fungible, and the market will pay what the lowest price seller is willing to make the transaction for. Second piece is that price differences occur through time rather than between firms and products. Think of it like this. When you're shopping for a new recliner, whether you buy it in May of this year or August of next year, there isn't going to be much difference in price. The real difference in price comes between manufacturers and products. And the different prices are less about the actual variables in a lot of cases than it is about the perceived quality. It's really hard to tell big differences between products. So higher prices indicate higher quality and create a feeling of a better product. This is what marketers in most organizations work to do, to increase the perceived value. But in commodities, the changes happen across the entire market segment and occurs through time. Go back to 2008. Crude oil, the ultimate commodity, went from over $140 a barrel to less than $40 a barrel in just a few months. The quality of that barrel didn't change, but the perceived value of the entire world of oil did. This means a commodity marketer has to think of disparities over time that they can take advantage of rather than creating disparities between products. If I'm in the dry cleaning business, I want to build up loyalty programs, awareness of gentler handling, more eco-friendly systems, better hours, convenient pickup and delivery, things to get people to be less price sensitive. And I want them to make my business their preferred choice. So in essence, the role of the marketer is to help make the company's product or service as valuable as possible, to find buyers that are willing to buy. But how that actually plays out is very different and requires unique capabilities in the world of consumer goods and services compared to the world of commodities. Now, that third piece that every business has to deal with is counting it. This is your inventory, your bookkeeping, your tax preparation. It's critical. It's that third core function that has to be managed. So in staying with the theme, that second element of sell it, let's talk about some contrarian market mindsets to get you thinking about your role in selling. I have 7 for you. They are uncertainty equals opportunity, work on the other end of the leash, remember the goal, even Tiger has a coach, ready, steady, go, pass me the gravy, and finish the learning loop. First one, uncertainty equals opportunity. It's easy to pine for those times when the market didn't move much. We didn't feel tossed around or like we're continually missing out. But here's the blessing of markets that move. Their uncertainty helps to keep production costs down. What commodity markets try to do is find the average price and then get the cost of production up to it. If the price of soybeans stay within a 20-cent range for 3 years, the market gets very comfortable on what the costs can do. But if the price keeps moving around, the uncertainty of the revenue not only provides peaks of opportunities for us that might not last long, but also they add pressure to the cost structure because of the uncertainty and the troughs that come with that. So while it may be more emotional, the movement of the market really does provide us opportunity. Here's another one. Work on the other end of the leash. Most dog trainers will tell you that their best work happens on the other end of the leash. They can work with the dog, but what matters most to the long-term behavior of the dog is really tied to the owner. In farming, I think of the two ends of the leash being marketing and efficiency. It can be very attractive to focus a lot of time on the market, or in this case, the dog end of the leash. And rightfully so. The market needs to be tended to. But the other end of the leash has to be addressed as well. If the dog's owner is reinforcing bad behavior, giving mixed signals, or transferring their own anxiety, the dog isn't going to behave well for long. On the farm, you might be able to do a great job of marketing the crop, but if the efficiency of the farm isn't equally important, you can't market your way out of a spending problem. Both ends of the leash need attention. A third one, remember the goal. When we're selling what we've raised, a lot of emotion can come into the picture. We can become competitive and want to beat the market. We can get regretful of what we didn't do. Maybe we become angry at the injustice of the price. Could be we get paralyzed with the uncertainty and the pressure to do the job perfectly. Regardless of what we feel, it's critical to keep a focus on the purpose of marketing, to turn our production into cash. This means we need to be clear on the critical few things that are important to our situation. Not to get wrapped up with the experts on TV or embarrassed when our neighbor tells us how good they did. Our needs are our own. We need to be clear. We need to be intentional. And we need to be focused on what's really important. Another, even Tiger has a coach. When you hear stories about top performers, one of the commonalities you'll find is that they have coaches. People that give them feedback, people that have different perspectives, people that are able to apply principles that fit to the need of the performer. What should you look for in a coach? First and foremost, you need to feel like you can connect with them. This doesn't mean that you want to go on a week-long vacation, but you need to be able to have a strong relationship where there's respect and candor. They also need to be able to bring credibility to the table. I like the phrase, "Don't take advice from somebody more messed up than you are." This can be pretty common at the coffee shop. Everyone's really excited to give other people advice about what they should do, but their own house isn't in order. You can find coaches in different places. Professional level, where their core competency and focus is the market and on helping people like you learn and plan and implement. There's also informal coaches. Maybe it's a friend who has a knack for giving you good insight, or maybe it's an uncle who has really proven a track record of wisdom and good decision-making that's willing to help. Here's another mindset: ready, steady, go. This is the component that is about getting clear about what needs to be done next. Here's what's dangerous: saying to yourself that when the market gets high enough, I'm going to sell a good chunk of grain. The problem with the plan is it's too ambiguous. There isn't enough detail there. Psychologists would tell us that the less clear we are on our plan, the more likely we are to not act. So get ready with exactly what you're going to do next. How much? How is it going to be priced? Where is it going to be priced? What level of price is it going to go at? With that kind of detail, which is simple, you can be patient and steady for the market to do its thing. And when the time arrives, you're ready to go. Another one, pass me the gravy. As commodity marketers, we're in the position of being price takers. This can be a trap that leads us into complacency and helplessness. When I talk about gravy, I'm looking at the little things that you can do to add value to the top line with really not adding much cost to the bottom line. Things like growing seed and specialty traits and having access to end users that are willing to pay more. In many situations, there may be some annoyance and extra time, but the actual costs end up being typically minimal. Think of it like this. We might not think twice about adding another 160 acres of new ground and be happy to make $4,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 off of it. But we might look at hauling grain to a new destination or dealing with a premium crop or some other little tweak to our top line as just, that's a lot of hassle to deal with for making another few $1,000s. When it comes to gravy, it goes right to the bottom line. It isn't adding diesel expense. It isn't adding more labor expense typically. Pretty soon, those small little opportunities of gravy begin adding up and begin showing up in earned equity over time. And 10 years from now, they begin to make a real difference. Looking for those little opportunities to add the gravy. And the final one, finish the learning loop. The last one is to make sure we don't make a decision or take an action without viewing it as a learning opportunity. We only have about 40 chances to market our crop, and the risk is, if we aren't active learners, looking for patterns, looking for our own biases, seeking out, what we want to do differently next time, then the risk is we end up repeating our rookie year 40 times. By getting comfortable with uncertainty, working on my farm's efficiency, focusing on what you really want, having a good coach, building a plan, and keeping on the lookout for different opportunities, all helps us with learning. And it gives us something specific that we can focus on in our own development. I hope there's been something here today that has struck a chord with you as you tackle the role of marketing. Commodity marketing isn't for everyone, and certainly there is risk involved. Now, before I forget, early in this episode, I mentioned that someone might be in the business of making aglets. In case you're curious, you own several aglets yourself and might not even know it. They're that little plastic end on your shoelace. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week, and thank you to Water Street Solutions for making this program possible. They're passionate about being coaches, helping farmers with their marketing approaches. If you want to learn more, You can connect with them at waterstreetconsulting.com.